Hi there, my name's Dan Harris and I'm a builder with Bricks of the Past, and I'm here at the Discovery Brick Show in Newcastle with some of the models that I've built. Mostly on historical stuff, but we'll come on to the non-historical stuff in a bit. So this first model here is of a castle near to where I live in Scotland. It's called Corgarff Castle. And what I've done here is try to depict it as it would have looked during the last Jacobite rebellion, which took place between 1745 and 1746. And in building this, what I've tried to do is depict some of the sort of key aspects of life during that period in Scotland and with the Jacobite army. So in the corner here we have a kind of field hospital. Medicine at the time would have been pretty brutal for battlefield, so it would have all been done in the open and with pretty rudimentary tools. This is the time before antiseptic and really, proper surgical equipment.
And he's losing his leg here, isn't he?
I'm afraid so, yeah. Down here we have a kind of camp scene. So the Jacobites didn't carry tents or have a proper camp in what we usually think of that armies of the time had. They'd basically march with their plaids and sleep in the heather. Down here we have a shinty game. Shinty is a Gaelic sport. It's played in Ireland and the Highlands of Scotland. And the best way I could describe it is that it's an extremely violent form of hockey. In my opinion, sort of hockey's violent enough as it is, so that's even something else. I just want to point another thing here. This is what we have is a peat cutting, which was another aspect of Highland life. And the other bits and bobs we have here, I've tried to create kind of the high life wildlife, and I'll come around to some other bits in a minute. But this is a snipe. This one here is an oyster catcher, and these are supposed to be red grouse. One of the things I really enjoyed about building this model is I put a lot of effort and thought into designing the Jacobite army, with taking lots and lots of different sort of torsos from all sorts of different places. So your usual kind of Jacobite, I've just basically used the Highlander collectible minifigure torso and combined it with a custom kilt. And things for the cavalry here. These are modelled pretty much on the Jacobite hussars, and this was a small unit of the Jacobite army, and they kind of modelled themselves on the Hungarian hussars that lots of armies.
So are these custom prints?
No, the only thing that is custom here is the flag, which is from a wargaming company called Flags of War. You can get their stuff online. And the kilts here are from a company called Capes for You or something like that. So they're again usually put on wedding cakes and things like that. Right. And then this is a kind of pastoral scene going on here, and then back to the sort of woodland in which we've got red deer, red squirrel, again iconic species of the Highland, and this little fella here. And this one isn't really known very well. This is a capercaillie, and a capercaillie is like this massive grouse that lives in the woods.
I like the fact that most of them are brick built.
Yeah. Oh, it was great fun to design them, actually.
I like the goats. That's very
cool. And then in terms of the overall style of the building, one of the really neat things is that after the Jacobite Rising, the government took it over and they modified it and turned it into a barracks. So when they were doing that, they drew up engineers' drawings for it. So I was able to use those to get the design of the building, how it would look before those modifications were made.
That's brilliant. There's not many windows.
No, there wouldn't have been many windows because it's in the Highlands. It's a really cold place.
Right.
One of the things that it might have had but wasn't on the drawings would have probably been a porch over here, but there's no actual physical evidence of that anymore.
That's fantastic. And what's your other one here?
So this next one, this has got a bit more of a local connection for us here in the northeast of England. So this is based on the Viking raid on Lindisfarne in I think 798. We're about 1,000 years before. Yeah, I say first recorded one, so it was recorded by the monks on the island. So I built this model a couple of years ago, so my memory of the exact research has gone a bit fuzzy a little bit. So it's kind of conceptual, because obviously Lindisfarne itself is massive. And so we've had to break things down and try and get it to some of the key features. So the buildings we have here are sort of based on your sort of typical Watland or Anglo-Saxon architecture that would have been common in the 8th century. And then we've basically got an action scene of Vikings looting the monastery. This is actually the first kind of big landscape I ever made, so this was quite a challenge to get right. When I originally had it laid out, it was going to be about half the size, but then I soon realised as I was building it and building the buildings that I was going to have to expand quite a lot to be able to fit everything in and get the cliffs to a height that I would like.
I know the cliffs look amazing. How did you build the inside, or how do they hold up?
Well, it's 100% Lego, this one. So inside, it's just columns of Lego that hold the top up.
Are they escaping with the treasure or trying to save it from the
The idea
Vikings?
is they're hiding it in the cave there.
I noticed you got some lights flickering inside here.
Yep. Okay, so this is a cheat, really, because I was trying to look at the official Lego systems and the custom Lego lighting systems that could do this sort of thing, and they were coming in at really expensive prices. So in the end, I just went on Amazon, found some flickering tea lights for about £10, and all you got to do to get them in these small spaces is rip the LED out and sellotape them to the battery, and then they'll go all day.
Well, it looks really effective.
Thank you.
This is a beautiful set.
Thank you very much.
And your latest one is right behind us, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yeah. This is something a bit different. So, this is a Lego map of Scotland, obviously. And it's only recently that I've realised that I might be able to do something like this. In my real life, in my real job, part of it is making maps. So I thought I'd take those skills, combining with the Lego skills, and build something like this. So I started this in a GIS program called QGIS, where I got a digital elevation model and then turned it into the sort of colours and the elevations that I wanted to create. Then exported that as a high res image file, and then turned it into a mosaic, basically, and built it in. It's kind of there's a sort of third-party mosaic program called something like Mosaica. It used to be called Legoizer, but they were trying to change the name because it was a copyright infringement. But I used that then to turn it into a mosaic, and then that you can export that as an Excel file. And then with that, I was able to basically, add in the height layers.
And it's all to scale, obviously.
It is all to scale, yeah, and it's all got the eastings and northings as well.
Well, that's 3 really impressive sets,
Thank you very much.
which must have taken you ages to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's several years worth of building. I mean, I built this in 2016, that was 17, and this is 19 now.
All right, brilliant. Thank you very much for your time.
No trouble at all.